Greetings, Paper Demons! Welcome to the PaperDemon live stream. Today I'm going to be giving a tutorial on how to play the PaperDemon Art Role-playing Game. I see we've got quite a few people in the chat today. Hey everyone, how you doing? Let me know in the chat. If you're new to the PaperDemon community, welcome. Today in this stream I'm going to... Hi Diamond. Hello. You want to come up here? I don't know what she wants. Sorry, that was my cat. So today I'm going to show you how to play the PaperDemon Art RPG and how to get started playing. If you're new, oh my gosh, I just turned off my screen here. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how to play and get your character registered. We're going to go over character creation, and we're going to also give an overview of what PaperDemon is in case you're new here. And let's see, we're also going to give you an overview of the different types of challenges you can play and some of the basic mechanics. Hi, yes, hello. You gonna come up? Hi, okay. Well, Diamond's here now, so now you have to see her. Hi, Diamond. Why do you have to ask for love right when I'm streaming? Hi, kitty. All right, Diamond. If you'd like to see more of Diamond, she's actually in the game. I will show you that later. I know, Cat Tex. Okay, let's see. I have a presentation here. I'm going to be jumping around a little bit, but I'm going to go over the basics of what PaperDemon is and why you should play. Let's see. Why should you play the PaperDemon Art RPG? Because it's awesome, but also because it will help you to get inspired and motivated to draw and help you make new friends, because our community is very positive and uplifting and supportive. So we are here to support you on your journey. We are very careful about making sure that our community is being supportive and respectful to one another, where we do moderate. So if you are looking for a safe space where you can feel free to be yourself and feel supported, we're a great place for that. Also, playing the PaperDemon Art RPG will help you grow your art and writing skills. As I said, our mission is to provide a safe and positive space to inspire and motivate you. So what are we going to go over? Yes, we're going to go over what is the PaperDemon Art RPG, yada, 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 about the Paperverse, how to sign up, create a character. We're also going to be doing a raffle. That's right. Guys, please remind me if I don't do that. We are going to raffle off some cool items, so just as a little reward for being here and participating in the live stream. So in a nutshell, what is PaperDemon? PaperDemon is an art role-playing game where you adventure with your original characters. We have fun adventures that you can participate in, different scenarios, and you earn loot when you participate. So we'll give you a scenario, then you draw your character and your friends' characters in that scenario. Then you upload your art or your writing and submit it to our queue. Then you get loot and points for participating. Now each challenge has different points and rewards. And your rewards are going to depend on what your character's stats are. And we'll go over that in more detail. Then you just repeat and you level up. The more you draw, the more points you get. And the more you level up, the more rewards you find. And the better rewards you find. So let's talk about the Paperverse. Will this video play, first of all? There we go. Portals are distant worlds across the Paperverse with unique adventures for your original characters. From the depths of the sea to the highest mountain peak, you'll find your inspiration everywhere in between. Diamond, you're rubbing against my microphone. I don't think people want to hear that. Let me move this up a little bit. Sorry, Diamond keeps rubbing against the microphone, so if you're hearing all kinds of sounds, that's why. This is the Diamond ASMR show, apparently. ASMR, is that what it's called? Okay. So every month we'll have a major event, usually like a quest or adventure, that will take place in one of these portals. So these are the setting for the Paperverse. We have many different ones from, let's see, we have forests, we have Avantgarde World of Skies, we have Faden World of Mushroom Forest, Castamaria, which is World of River, Islands, Pavia, World of Stone Deserts. We've got many more. Currently, our current quest that's featured right now is taking place in Avantgarde World of Skies. So you can learn. Yeah, it is ASMR. Okay, so I'm not, okay, I can't remember the term. We also have character development challenges, which are much simpler prompts. Give you really simple scenarios that come out every week to help inspire you. These ones are good if you're more of a beginner and you just want to get your feet wet. And they'll help you build out your character's personality, backstory, and the aesthetic of your character, explore fashion and that kind of stuff. We also have battles. These are a big deal in the PaperDemon Art RPG. Every few months we'll have a major battle event where we are all fighting a monster together to help save the Paperverse. So I'll show you what one of these looks like. This was the last boss fight that we had. On the homepage it'll show who the boss is and how much HP they have, and every time someone submits a drawing, that boss's HP starts to deplete, and the event goes until the monster's dead. So this is some of the art that the players have made. We gave them all prompts to help interact with this story event, and as you draw other people's characters, you do more damage. So if you're drawing multiple characters, like this attack had 4 different characters and they all had different elemental powers, it did a lot more damage. So it's there's also different equipment that you can craft and equip or purchase from the shop to help change your stats, enhance your attacks. So it's a big deal. These come out every so often. So stay tuned for those. Let's go back to our tutorial and let's get started creating our first character. So in the description below, there should be a link to PaperDemon. I will also drop this in the chat, so you can have this. Cyrus art with his hair tied back, gasp. Wait, was that in there? Okay, click the link in the chat. There's also a link in the description below to take you to PaperDemon, and you're going to want to click this sign up button. I actually don't remember. Is the link, let's see. The link either takes you to this landing page and then you just click start creating today, or it will take you to this page and you'll click start creating today here. So it might look a little different depending on where you are. So you're going to click on that and it's going to take you to the sign up page. You're going to put in all your info, and it is going to ask you to verify your email address before you can log in. Now, it's really common for people's emails to get eaten by spam filters. So make sure you check your spam filter for that sign up link and for that activation link. If you don't see it, please email support@paperdemon.com. I'm going to type that in the chat. So email support@paperdemon.com if you have any issues logging in or activating your account. We can help verify you and get you logged in. So once you've created your account, what happens next? Let's go over that. First, let's see. When you first log into PaperDemon, I believe it takes you to the inn, but just in case it doesn't take you there, if you scroll down to or you look down at the bottom of your screen here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but down in the lower right, there's like this black bar with some icons on it, and there's one called the inn. So you want to click that, and that'll take you here to the Parchment Imp Inn, which has a tutorial right here to help get you started to play. So we're going to go through this first step together, and I'll also give you a brief overview of some of these other steps as well. So this is where you're going to get started to start playing. And then you're going to click this button here to create your character. Now this is going to guide you through it step by step. You don't necessarily have to watch this video, but I'm going to go through it with you anyway and just kind of give some additional context and help explain some of the things that may not be obvious here. And I also want to say, just want to acknowledge for a moment, this is an art RPG. It's an RPG, because it's an RPG, it can be a bit of a high barrier of like understanding how to play, and that's okay. So we can see, okay, great. Yeah, I need to get one of those giant cursors so it's easier to see, because I think on mobile it's hard to see. Guinea says they could see it, but I need to change my cursor to like a giant finger. I should do that. See if I could change my settings. That'd probably make it easier. I think there's a way to zoom in too or something. I have to learn how to do that. That would be cool. Anyway, I kind of got sidetracked there. what was I saying? Let's see. I completely lost my train of thought. Okay, we were going to create a character. Oh, yes, I remember now. Okay, RPGs are hard. Let's acknowledge that for a minute. It is complicated. There's a lot of mechanics. There's a lot of different things you can do. There's a lot of choices you have to make. And if you get stuck, please join the Discord server, or you can email us at support. And one of our staff members or one of our lovely community members will help you along the way. So our community is super friendly. We're all here to help you. As you can see, there's a lot of really nice people in the chat right now. Yes, yes, thank you, Crazy Shero. High barrier to entry, but that's okay, and we're here to support you along the way. I'm going to give you a link to that Discord. There is a link to it in the footer here. Probably should make this more obvious. I'm going to drop the link to this in the chat as well. So I highly, highly, highly recommend joining the Discord because it's a great way to find other people to adventure with. PaperDemon is a collaborative art game. You're going to get the most out of it if you're playing with other players. Okay, so before we jump into this character creation process, I just want to show you briefly what a finished character looks like, just so you can kind of get an idea of where we're going with this. So this is my character Cyrus. He's one of my characters that I've already drawn a lot, so his stats are going to be pretty high, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea here. This is what his character sheet looks like. He's currently at full health. It shows my name here, that I'm the one that owns it, and everyone can see each other's character sheets so that you can play together. It shows what his latent elemental power is, and this is what's going to affect his attacks in battle, how many points he has, so every time he's been drawn either by me or another person, his points are going to go up. And when he reaches certain milestones with his points, his rank is going to go up. So he's at the highest rank right now for all characters start at 1. And there's also some special abilities that he has here. There is also classes in the PaperDemon Art RPG, and I'll go over those too during character creation. There's also all of his achievements that he's earned from participating in larger challenges, and companions that he's equipped that help to enhance his stats, as well as weapons and armor and other equipment. And down below, it shows all the submissions that were either drawn by me or other players where he has been tagged. And it also shows how many points was earned. So you could see some of these was 10 points, some were 7, some were 5. And it also lets you track any role plays that you have in the forums and a change history. So going back to see what changed and why. You don't need to know that. That's mostly for admin purposes. All right, so let's, any questions so far, please let me know in the chat and I will I will answer those. Let's see, we have some questions here. Okay, is it possible to add more than one illustration to make the character's profile? So great question. So on the actual character sheet here, you can only add the one or alternate forms if your character's a shapeshifter. However, you can definitely embed images here in the player notes. So you can upload images to your gallery and then reference them here. So you can see here I put a Tupper icon here. So like if someone else is going to role play as my character, they can reference this icon. I've also seen other players, actually I'm going to pull up Zach Holf's profile real quick and show you his characters, because he puts a lot of effort into having nice character sheets. And in particular, I know he has, where's Virus? Pull up Virus real quick. There he is. So he will put in all kinds of info in his character sheet. So you can do HTML and inline styles. So if you want to make it look a certain way, have a color palette, add some details about your character. You can also link off to reference sheets. So you can see here he has links that go off to other reference sheets. So you can put pretty much whatever you want here. So that other people can learn more about your character. You can add a backstory. And there is a template that's there as well. Here's some more reference images. So yeah, that's a great question. Yes, you could put stuff there. But what's here is only after you've created your character. It's an admin that controls this, and this is just for fairness of the game to make sure that we know what your character looks like. Great question. Okay, so back to the tutorial. Again, you're going to go to the inn, and in the inn you're going to see this little paper demon here hatching from an egg, and that's how you know you're in the right place. And you're going to click create resume my character. And then if you've already started a character draft, it'll be here if you want to resume it, or you can create a new one. So we're going to go to continue. It explains a little bit about how the game works, stuff I already explained. There's also a video here if you want to watch it, which kind of goes over stuff, but I kind of covered a lot of it already. And then it's going to explain to you that you'll get rewards. I feel like we should probably cut some of this stuff down. Also, there's some rules. For each challenge submission, you must create a new and unique work of art. So you can't be copy-pasting stuff. This game is played by many other people. We need to keep it fair, and there does have to be a certain level of effort to keep the game fair. Your character must be original. This means no fan characters, no fan art. If you do want to play with a fan character, you have to change it enough that it's not based on anything that is copyrighted. It has to be something that you have the rights to be able to use. So if you started by creating a OC from Legend of Zelda or something, like your own like fan OC, you'll have to take out anything that's referencing Nintendo properties. No AI. This is a pretty big rule for us. We are very anti-generative AI within our community. You cannot use it for creating your stories, your artwork, or your character portraits. So even if you're a writer and you want to have a portrait on your character sheet, it needs to be something that's been drawn by either yourself or someone else in the community that you've either commissioned or someone in the broader arts community. No Hero Forge, no doll makers, no gacha life, etc. And no mature content on your character sheet. Okay, so let's continue. And now we're going to create our character sheet. It's asking again if you want to resume progress or create a new one. So just in case you missed it. And now we're going to create a name. You can change this at any time. If you want to just generate one, you can click the button and it'll come up with some ideas for you. Rightian, that's a cool name. Let's go with that. Now you're going to come up with a concept. So some of you may already have an existing original character that you've created over time, and you are totally welcome to use that. You do not have to create something new. Again, as long as it's original. However, some people get a little stuck and want to have some ideas to get started. So we have this roller here, which you can click and it'll come up with some random concepts for you. So we have our own roller that we built that has a bunch of different concepts that kind of get mishmashed together to create endless possibilities for you for ideas. And some of them are using some existing lore in the PaperDemon Art RPG as a base. So you could do a sea folk from the laboratory of a mad scientist who wears elegant dresses and isn't who they seem. A striking half-elf from Kahari who is crippled and deciphers ancient texts. A golden half-elf from Eventide Ring who wears a cloak made of magic and cleans things just by touching them. Gosh, I like snitty sea folk. What does snitty mean? Laboratory of a mad scientist. These two are pretty good. Golden hat. Gosh. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. Then it's going to, and again, if you have your own idea, you just click, I have my own idea. You don't have to pick one of the random rolled ones. Okay, Suki has a question. Does the no AI include using a program like Grammarly to catch spelling and grammar mistakes? No, you are totally welcome to use something that helps you with grammar and spelling. That's totally fine. It's just that you can't go to a chat GPT and say, write me a story, putting in a prompt, write me a story about such and such. Like, no, that part is not okay. If you're using it for grammar, using it for spelling, that's totally cool. We definitely need to update our rules to make that clear, but that's a great question. Okay, so you are now going to be faced with choosing an element for your character. Now, once you choose your element and you save your character, like you've said that your character's done, you can't change your element without a special item. And this is necessary for fairness in the game. So you have a choice between sky, water, earth, and fire. Whatever you pick is going to influence how your magic manifests in battle. Now, you can depict your element any way you want. This is just for the underlying mechanics of how the game works. So you can, for example, you can choose water, but your character doesn't actually have water. It has ink or mud powers or whatever. Like you can interpret it any way you want. You're just really picking an element to keep the game balanced and make sure we have people with different elements because it impacts the mechanics. Okay, so what was my character concept again? It should really show that here. That would be helpful. Does it show it here? Snitty sea folk from the laboratory. Sea folk, okay, so probably water. Let's go with water. What's Rydian's class? So here you can choose a class. Now you don't have to pick this now. You can come back later. Anytime after you've created your character, you can choose your class. And by the way, you can change your element after the fact, but you have to use a special item. I forgot to say that. Pocket sand, yes. You can do pocket sand. So you have a choice between 3 classes. You can be an elementalist, which is basically like a mage. So your magic attacks are much more powerful than the other classes. You also gain more access to more elements in the game. Bard is a more supportive character. So if you want to be able to buff other players, this is a good choice. You can do healing and you can cast buffs. And Apothecary, you get access to unique items where you can craft special recipes for cures and healing status effects. So this is fun if you like plants and crafting. Or you can, use the randomizer. I think I'm going to pick Apothecary for this one. And again, you can use a premium item to change this later if you want to. Okay, so now creating your character will require you to make something. So you can either use art or you can write a backstory for your character. In my case, I am more of an artist. I like to draw. So again, it repeats my character concept here. So you can draw this out and upload it. Now, if you'd like, you can, again, if this is a character you've already created before, like for another game, maybe you play tabletop games and you've already created a character you want to reuse, or an OC that you've made, you can upload existing art for this character sheet. However, going forward with this character, any art that you submit needs to be new stuff that was created from one of our prompts. So I could go ahead and let's see. I always question, should I stop here and we start drawing a character, or should we continue with the tutorial? And I am very tempted to draw this character out because this is a cool concept. So let's sit down and draw real quick. We highly recommend that you draw full color for your character sheet. However, I don't think we have rules anymore. You can pretty much do what you want. But let's see. This is a sea folk. What was its name? Rydian. I might change the name because it sounds too much like the Blue Rose Rydian thing. But let's put in the name here. I'm going to, let's see. Let's do a quick portrait. Whoa, that's too big. Let's draw Rydian real quick because I want to draw it. And if you're watching this recording, feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to watch me draw, because I understand. Where's my pen? There it is. Okay. Hopefully my pen works. Okay, a sea folk. I'm just gonna come up with some ideas here. Maybe some like really big gills or something. I think that'd be cool. Maybe like a, what's that? There's like a really fancy looking seahorse. Sea dragon? This thing. Leafy sea dragon. Yes. Okay. This is my reference now. Anglerfish. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I like that. Let me open up a new reference thing here. I'm just pulling up some reference images for myself here. Anglerfish. I think, especially since this is a mad scientist, right? Oh my god, these things are ugly. This kind of has a mad scientist vibe. Oh my god, what is this? Is this from something? Oh my god. Is this from something? Oh, it's from Dory? Or Finding Nemo? Oh my god, that's creepy. Okay. Look at how ugly this thing is. All right. Let's sketch this up. They like, okay, what was the concept again? My squirrel brain can't keep track. Okay. Snitty sea folk from the laboratory of the mad scientist who wears elegant dresses and isn't who they seem. Oh man. Head is too big. Let's fix that. I'm real good at making the heads too big. Proportions are an ongoing battle. You do not have to do full body, by the way. I just want to do it since this character's like a core feature of them is that they wear elegant dresses. I need a pose. Let me find a pose reference. What's the gender of this character? I kind of want it to be a man in a dress. But I will, let's see. Man standing elegant. Let's find that. I kind of want to do a suit, like a crossover of a suit and a dress. I'm not sure why that's in my head. This guy looks handsome. Look at this guy. Is that a good pose though? That looks kind of hard to get quite right. Please tell me this isn't AI. I think it might be. By the way, if you use AI image for reference, that's not a big deal. If you kind of hard to avoid at this point. Where's a good... Look at this! This guy's got a cane. What if my mad scientist sea folk has a cane? That's kind of neat. I like that. Look at that. Let's redo this pose here real fast. This is not working. White-spotted jellyfish? Oh, you did some research on a white-spotted jellyfish for a project. A trans angler dragon with frills for the suit. Yes, frills. Gotta have frills. Let's see. He looks like he's gonna fall over. He's not very well balanced. He's got a wide V-neck, and you can see his chest, his manly chest. Because yes, of course. This is looking very stiff as far as drawings go. Standing is always hard for me for some reason. Standing pose, it's just too hard to get it to not be stiff. I don't know what it is. I'm going to tilt his head like this. Maybe he's got a monocle too. Let's stick his cane out like this more. His arm is out like this. I would say he doesn't have to be trans to like wearing dresses, so I'm gonna make him. Let's make him bisexual, male, cis male. That way I have flexibility in who I ship him with. This over. Oh my god, this guy is so flamboyant. Hey Paint by Doggo, welcome to the stream. We're drawing a character. The character is the character generator gave us something. Where is it? Where's my tab? A snitty sea folk from the laboratory of a mad scientist who wears elegant dresses and isn't who they seem. I should save my file before I go further. All right. I don't want to spend too much longer on this because I do want to continue the tutorial. So let's finish out the sketch, do some lines, toss in some color. So I thought it'd be cool if he had something kind of like a suit on top, but an elegant dress on the bottom. Let's fix this foot because this does not work. It looks like he's gonna fall over. This is a standing pose. It should be easy, but it's not. And we are drawing inspiration from this sea dragon thing. And then obviously when you get these concept ideas, they're just starting points. You could change them. If you don't like that it's a sea folk and you want to change it to an elf or whatever, you're not bound by these concepts that come up from the generator. So they're just suggestions. You can change it to whatever you want. All these little leaves and stuff on here. Maybe this angler light almost looks like a little berry. Oh my gosh, this character is looking really, really cool. I might have to make him an actual like in-game NPC. Okay. What is the mess with this? What is this mess here? Should he be in high heels? Although he's a fish man. I guess he has webbed feet. He's gonna have webbed feet. I really need to go back to studying figure drawing. I don't think a fish man is going to fit his feet into high heels. That is not going to work. However, there's nothing stopping him from having some bling on his feet. Like a little anklet thing. Work. Fix my proportions. This is what I love about digital art. This is hard to do when you're working traditionally. This foot's too far. All right, I'm trying too hard, I think. Don't do what I'm doing. Go faster than me. All right, let's do the line art. I want to move this tutorial along. What does a fish person's face look like? I don't know. Oh, what if he had a beard? I want him to have a normal nose, I think. Hold on, let's try that again. My pen is, let's go thick. By the way, you can always change your character's portrait later, so feel free to do like a sketch and update it later. You will need something called a makeover kit to change your character, and that's because for fairness of the game, we have to have limits on updating your character sheet, because if we didn't, people could cheat by just changing their character to a different character and keep piling up points on the same character sheet. Oh, perhaps they have a bubbly personality? Oh, gills. Yeah, okay. Maybe he has gills on the sides here. Low V-neck. a very unusual clothing outfit. I think this arm is too big. That's better. Question from Yuko Uri. Question, I'm trying to add an image and I'm at the tags part. Is it normal that some little emojis slips in them even though the tag I selected originally didn't have them? Ah, I know what you're talking about. Yes. Let me go over that with you. So you're talking about submitting an entry, which I will go over as well. So when you submit new art, this is when you're submitting to a challenge and you choose your art and then you're choosing your tags. So you might do PD RPG, for example. Some of them have little icons to indicate, sorry, you may not be able to see that. So a fire emoji means it's popular. A dice means it's referring to a game tag. And if it has a, is this a tag? This is someone, right? If it has a little person, that means it's a character tag. Good question. Ace Tooney's asking, anyone else working on their own OCs? I'm trying my hand at the Make a Demon OC based on your short from the other day. Yes! Let me share a link to that in case anyone else wants to see that. So I made a video. I actually made it several months ago and just keep spamming YouTube with the same video over and over again because it's a very good video. Let me find the original. Here it is.
Let's draw.
Share a link. So this video, it helps you create an OC. So it like gives you
OC based off of yourself. If you're short, do a steampunk demon. If you're average height, do a crystal demon.
It's basically like a character generator. So if you want to use that, you're welcome to use that. Let me finish up this line art for this thing. I can always come back later and fix it. Do some little bling on here. Dress is going to be the hardest part, I think. Come back to that. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. There's inspiration all around us, folks. Draw inspiration from real life things. No one's gonna want to draw this character because it's way too complicated. We need more villains. Yeah, he could be a villain. Oh, Lo-Fi's thinking of drawing a villain. Yes, I agree. There's not enough villains. Everyone's character is like... There's a lot of characters that are like either tricksters or like good characters. I don't know. Wait, what am I doing here? We need more villains for sure. There's a lot of awkward characters too. I cannot seem to get this hair right. I just did a tutorial on hair. You'd think I'd know how to do this better. There. All right, now to the part that I've been avoiding. Dress. This does not work over here. We gotta change it. All right. How about that? We'll go like this. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah. Something like that, I guess. Not bad, not bad. Fix these lines up here. Good enough. I think he needs a little bit more work, but we need to move on. Let me slap some color on this real quick. Let's find a brush that we think works. There's some built-in watercolor things here. Seafoam. Ken says, popped away for a second, but was summoned back by mention of Vigilante. Vigilante? Can't wait to see some villains and vigilantes. Yeah, there needs to be more variety, I think. Current prompt is great for vigilantes because of the alter ego aspect. Let's take a look at that, actually. What is the current prompt? Let me just take a second to show what's new, what's going on in the Paperverse. So our current events right now are a couple of quests, 3 quests in Avant-Garde right now. But there's also the weekly prompts, which show up here. So our main events are at the top. These are bigger story events that happen. And they show deadlines and stuff. Almost every challenge we have has a deadline. We've got some others that are free and open to do whenever you want. But then there's also many more that have deadlines. So the character development ones, these are really simple prompts. At your service is the current one. Is this the one you're talking about? Ken? The guild is hosting a butler and maid cafe for charity. Fancy drinks and cute foods, all served with a smile. Maybe a little dance and the warm, fuzzy feeling for the patrons that they're helping someone in need. Draw or rate your character participating in the event. What do they do? Are they a butler or a maid? Or maybe they're a cook. Are they customers? What does the food look like? What do the uniforms look like? And then there's face in the mirror. Maybe this is the one you want. Oh yeah, the mirror one. Okay. You only have a couple. Let's see. You have till the end of day tomorrow to participate in this one if you want. Why does your reflection look slightly different? Your character finds that the reflection is staring back a little too intently. Is it still you or something worse? Draw or write about your character's mirrored alter ego. Are they good? Are they positively mad? Is there a difference? Lonely Cowboy submitted that one. A lot of these weekly prompts are submitted by members of the community. So if you have an idea for a prompt, let us know in the Discord. All right, let's finish our sea folk here. Olive green suit. Does that work? Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, I have regrets. Does that work? I don't know. Gray. Let's go with gray. This swamp thing face. Where's my reference? All right. I keep saying I'm going to be done, and then I'm not, because I like drawing. Sue me. I want to be done so I could do the rest of the tutorial, but I'm enjoying drawing. Maybe it should be a white suit. I don't think the gray works. White's classy, right? Dark lapels. How about that? That's not what I wanted to do. All right. There we go. I'm done, I swear. I swear I'm done. I'm done, I'm done, I'm almost done. Okay. I'm almost done. I swear by the moon and stars in the sky. Okay. He's done. I swear. Okay. All right. Oh, I did that wrong. Export JPEG. Scale it down because that's too big. All right. Okay, we have our image. Now we can finish this part of the tutorial. Boop. Okay, so I have art of my character, and now I'm going to click on art, and I'm going to, there's rules and stuff here too if you need it. It does have to include at least the shoulders and head. You don't have to do full body. I like to do full body because then other people can see what the character looks like, because other people are going to be drawing your character too. Oh yeah, there's a lot of more chatter in the chat, guys. Let's see. I will answer these questions in just a moment. There's also some lore information here too, if you want to learn more about portals. And there's also some character examples here to reference, and then you're going to click choose file. Let's find my art file. Where is my new character? His name sounds too much like Rydian from... I may change his name. Okay, you click save image and then it uploads and it takes forever. And then if your character art was drawn by someone else, you can link to them here, like if it was a commission or something. And then continue. And it's just making sure that you actually read the rules. No AI. All right, and then you look at review your character one more time, the element, the class. If this all looks good, you can go ahead and submit. Why is this image? Is it just me or is this image too low resolution? Hold on. This is the one I uploaded, so it's probably just a preview. Okay. Oh, it's because I'm zoomed in, that's why. Okay, submit my character. There we go. Okay, so now my character she's created. I got some items. If it's your first time playing, you're actually going to get even more items, because first character you get a whole bunch of, like, you get like a starter kit. And then let's see, we had questions here. Let's see, why do prompts have deadline? Okay. That's a great question. It's because we are adding new content all the time. And by making things on a deadline, it allows us to cycle new content in and keep things fresh. And there's nothing like a deadline to motivate people to actually do something. Because sometimes you'll see a prompt and like, I'll do it later. But knowing that there's a deadline helps motivate you to do it. It is also a way for us to monetize the game, because there are people who are... willing to spend money to be able to do old stuff. So we have old prompts that are from the past, and if you spend a bookmark, you can gain access to this. You can also earn bookmarks. You'll get one, I think, as part of your starter kit. So when you first join the game, you get some of these for free. You can also find them by playing the game. You'll find them as drops. You'll also get in-game currency, which you can use to buy these bookmarks. That let you go back into the past for the old character dev prompts, because we've got a lot of them. As you can see, we're approaching 200 of them now. So yeah, there's a lot of them here to choose from. But yeah, Ace says, without the deadlines, I would make a lot less art. So yeah, the deadlines do help. And if you want more time to participate in these challenges, you can also support us on Patreon. I believe there's a link to that at the bottom here somewhere. Is it here? On the bottom of all the challenges, where is it? Is it not here? Okay, maybe it's in the shop. Shop? Early access? So if you want prompts before anyone else, you want to get them early, you could support us on Patreon for a subscription and get access to the prompts early. You can also, again, buy in-game items to get access to more stuff. All right, back to PaperDemon. Where were we? I got distracted. I was answering your question, and then I lost my tab. Where is my tab? Hey, we haven't done a raffle yet. Let's do a raffle real quick. Guys, drop your usernames in the chat. What am I going to raffle? Let's see. Let's raffle a clothing item. What do we got right now? I'm gonna raffle this Newsy cap. If you draw your character wearing this cap, you get a +1 in any challenge. Drop your usernames in the chat. Lo-Fi says, as soon as I get some money, I'll definitely buy some in-game items. Yes, thank you for supporting us. Helps us pay our server bills and cover the cost of hiring freelance artists and game designers. Wythel, that's a cool name. Last chance to put your username in the chat so that you can get free stuff. Oh, you were thinking more like Raiden. Yeah, that's actually probably a better name. Where's my character sheet? So if you click on Characters tab down at the bottom, you can see all your characters. I might change it. Radel. Let's do Radel, maybe? Rydel? Radician. Radician. How about that? Radician. Stician. There. Radician. I think that's a better name. Okay, where were we? We were doing a raffle. Okay, did I get everyone? Boo, boo, boo. All right, spin. Wythel, congratulations! Are you new to the community? I don't recognize your name. You were asking a bunch of questions, so I would assume so. Congratulations! You're gonna get a new item in your bank. All right. Items. It pays to show up, guys. When you show up and you spend some time on your art, you get stuff. All right, so I went over creating a character. So you can find your characters from this characters button on the lower right. And you can see all of your characters here. You will also see your most recent characters in the inn. In the inn, it actually shows how much HP they have. So oh, by the way, if you come in every day to PaperDemon, you'll find a little free gift. You just click on the chest and you get a free item. So it pays to show up. Just a little gift to get you playing and playing the PaperDemon Art RPG. So you can see here's my character Rydician, and that shows how much HP he has. And here's my other character. Basically, they're shown in the last order that you drew them, or that someone else drew them, so that you can see, like, the more recent ones will appear first. You can create as many characters as you want. We don't have a limit right now, so go hog wild. After you've created a character, you will have the next stage of the tutorial, which will show you how to do a character development challenge. So you can pick from one of the ones that it shows here, which have no deadline, or you could pick from one of the weekly ones. The rest of these challenges also show you how battle mechanics work, how portals work, and ranking up and how that impacts the game. Real quick, I'm going to show you how to submit to the character development challenge. So we're going to just do this as an example. So in this one, this is basically going to be your first challenge now that you've created your character, your first adventure. And this one, again, these character development challenges are really simple. So it's kind of just to kind of get you started with the basics. So they're not too complicated. Okay, let's begin your story. The Adventurers Guild of Aradin is one of the most well-established guilds in the Paperverse. Some consider it the unofficial headquarters of all of the guilds. Outside, the rainforest earns its name as the thunderstorm rolls overhead. The crackling hearth in the guild's lobby is a welcome sight after the day you've had. A small handful of adventurers are gathered around the flame, warming their hands and passing around unique foods from different worlds. Jasper says, so I took the construct's arm and tossed it to her and yelled, "Need a hand?" The crowd chuckles graciously. A few groan. They open their ranks as you approach, allowing you a seat. Someone passes you a mug of something that smells sharply sweet. Jasper says, the price of admission to the Adventurers Guild is a good story. What have you got for us? And now you'll be telling a story to this group of adventurers in the Adventurers Guild. Pick a prompt. These prompts have no deadline. These ones are always open. So pick one of these to choose from, or you can pick one that's currently running on the homepage. But these ones are always here just to kind of give you an intro to the game. So where's your character from? Where were they born, assembled, built, created, or otherwise begin to exist? Draw about your character's place of origin and how they came to be. Or show a moment in your character's past that they were incredibly proud of. Or draw or write about a talisman for your character. It can be something that's sentimental, magical, or in some way meaningful to your character. Depicting your character in the visual art is optional for this prompt. So most of these prompts you're supposed to, almost always, you draw your character with the item. Or sorry, you draw your character with the prompt. So that's how that character gets points, is you draw them. We made an exception for this particular prompt. If you don't like those, there's more you could choose from here. These ones are all always open. You could do them anytime. But again, the ones that show up on the homepage that cycle through each have a deadline of 2 weeks, and a new one comes out every Monday. Explains how the rewards work here. So you get a random drop with most of the challenges give you a random drop. It'll say that here. And the random drop is determined by your character's stats. So the higher your rank, the more item drops you get. If you have a scavenger companion, it will find additional items for you. So let me show you those in the shop real fast. So like Cyrus, for example, is rank 4. So he's going to find somewhere between 3 to 5 items because he's a high rank. If you're rank 1, you're only going to find 1 item, I think. There's maybe a slight chance that you get 2. The higher you rank, the also rarer and more valuable items you find. Now, if you have a scavenger, so Beetle Buddy, I believe, is this a scavenger? Yes. So this scavenger companion will find extra items. So you can find these scavenger companions in the shop. If you go to the shop and you go item shop and you scroll down to, excuse me, shop by category, and you go to companions, and you can search just scavengers, and you can see all the scavengers. We have this pumpkin spice parka in the shop now. Is that a scavenger or is that a magic companion? I don't remember. Oh, it's showing these featured things and new arrivals at the top for some reason. Okay, these ones are the actual scavengers. That's a bug. I gotta fix that. Okay, so Beetle Buddy is in here. Archibald, Dragonfly Construct. This is a limited edition one, so if you want this one, you know, get it before it's gone. Scaled Scavenger, Fee, Phantom Parquet. I think this one has rotated out, so you can't get that anymore. But these, you can pick any one, attach it to your character, and it'll find an extra item for you. All right. Where was I? I got distracted. Okay. So how do you submit? So it tells you here what the requirements are. So when you do a challenge, you got to draw a full color or multi-tone grayscale. At a minimum, it must have flat colors or be multi-tone monochrome. I got to update this. This is some old art in here. I think we've updated all this. So you have to draw, you don't have to shade anything, but you do have to do full color for this particular challenge. If you don't have markers or colored pencils or whatever, or digital art, you can also do multi-tone. So you could do shading, for example, to show different lights and darks. And you have to draw at least half body. So you have to draw, you can't just draw the head. You have to do at least, you know, somewhere around half the body in your art for it to count. And it must fulfill the prompt. There's some examples here, so you can see some for some of the past prompts. And then if you're writing, you can do 500 words. Your character must play a major role, and it fulfills the prompt. Check the requirements for each challenge because each one is different. Most of them are like this. The character developments are all the same like this. But the portals have higher requirements. There is a guide here, ability points guide. This actually has more examples and I think a better explanation in it. So I'll update that other page. So this one shows you could do for 3 AP entries. So this is battles, for example. You could do a sketch, you could do a line art, but it has to have the half body. There's also the 5 AP, which is character development. So you could do either flat color, you could do a multi-tone grail sketch, that works. But you can't just do like a fill color and then line art, that won't count. And then 10 AP challenges, which are things like portals. You got to have multiple elements in the artwork. So, you know, it has to have your character, it has to have some foreground and background elements. This one does not count because it's just the character and just like a gradient in the background. That's not good enough. You got to put some effort into drawing a scene of some kind. So it says here, a background must be recognizable as depicting a scene or location. There's also a one sheet image here if you want to see all the examples. You also get bonuses. This is more advanced, so don't worry about this part. But you can get additional points in different ways. which you can read that in the guide on your own time on how to increase your points. But if you're a beginner, I wouldn't worry about it. So how do you get your AP? How do we submit now? So we've drawn our character. Let's say we picked this prompt here. Draw your character. No, wait, up here. Whatever is your character font. Let's assume that I drew this. So I'm going to go down here and click submit your entry. And then I'm going to click upload new submission and choose artwork or story. For artwork, you're going to choose an image. Now I'm just going to use this one I have here, but this is my character portrait. You shouldn't do this. Do a brand new artwork. Just in the interest of time, I'm going to put this in here. Put the prompt, if you can, in the description so people know what challenge you did, and then mark their maturity. Here, let me change the size of this so you can see this better. Okay. So yeah, you just put in a title for your art, paste the prompt in the description if possible. You don't have to worry about tagging your character because you're going to do that on the next step, and I'll show you how to do that. However, if you have any content that might be triggering or whatever, we do recommend you click on these tags in case it has something that might be sensitive content for other people. And then you just hit submit. Your image will upload. Why is it being so slow? There we go. And now you're going to fill out this thing to add it to the queue. So your art is uploaded, but it hasn't been submitted for processing. A human has to review your art and make sure that it meets the minimum requirements, such as having full color, having half body of your character. So it's going to select your artwork here, and then you're going to tag your character. So I'm going to search here. What was my character's name again? Radician? Here he is. Okay, so we're going to click on him. You might even have him already selected here. So here's Radician, and then you're going to input how many points. So normally you just leave this at the default. However, if you did anything that gives you bonus points, you can change that here. But if you're a beginner, don't worry about it. Just leave it at the default and you're good to go. If you drew more than one character in your entry, you'll want to specify which one is yours so that we use that for the roller. What prompt did you use? If you can, paste it here. We are going to make this easier in the future. We've got a big UI update that's going to simplify a lot of this. If you did a writing submission that has a lot of chapters in it, it helps our admins if you specify which chapter to look at. If you're using any items that give you points bonuses, list them here. Again, this is more advanced. I wouldn't worry about anything here. If you're a beginner, really the only thing you have to worry about here is specify which character is yours if you have more than one in there. And then go ahead and click submit to queue. I'm going to put in here that this is a test so the admins know not to count it. Submit. Now that your entry is in the queue, it takes a few days. A human, one of our staff members, will review it, just make sure it meets requirements. And just to be clear, like, we are not judging based on your skill level. We're just judging based on those minimum requirements that we require. And if every time you submit something, you also get XP on your account. So when you level up on your account, you can see here I'm level 294. You also get some of these things called spirit points, which you could spend on a loot box if you want. Okay, so we can look at our submission. So this would be my character development challenge entry here, and it shows that my character's here. Once it's approved, it'll show how many points I got for it here. People can comment on it, that kind of thing. You could share it with friends, however you'd like to do it. And you'll see all of your artwork if you click on your name and you click on art. You can see your gallery. So this will be all of your challenge entries. But if you want to see your characters, you're going to click on that characters tab. Any questions so far? I probably talked too much. Yukoruri says, I have my account for a while, but I just opened my account like yesterday. Yeah, so we see that a lot. People will sign up and think this is really cool, but they're too busy to play right now. And then they come back like 2 years later and start playing. That happens a lot. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? If you ever need to reference anything, there's guides here that kind of go over requirements and how point counting works and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think, what do people usually get tripped up on? What else do I want to go over? This is outdated. Let's fix this. This says you can only draft 3. Is that true? Can you create unlimited drafts now? I think you might actually be able to create unlimited drafts. Let's fix that. How do I delete my character? I think that's in here. All right, let me save this. I'm probably going too fast. I just don't know what stuff people want to know. Shapeshifters, maybe we should talk about that. So if your character is a shapeshifter, like if you have a character that has many different forms, like it looks many different ways, I think there's rules about that in here somewhere. Here, shapeshifter. Is your character a shapeshifter? You can register your alternate forms of your character sheet to redeem rewards when drawing those forms. So normally when you draw a challenge, when you're doing a challenge, your character that you draw has to look like the one that's in the character sheet. But if you say have an elf character that transforms into a dragon, you can't draw the dragon form when you're doing the challenges unless you register the dragon form. And in order to do that, you're going to need to register them as a shapeshifter. So there is a guide here on how to register a shapeshifter. If you're interested, I'm going to share it here. We get this question a lot. I think it is popular. A lot of people like to do shapeshifters. So it does require a premium item, Mask of Many Faces. You can earn in-game currency to purchase this item. So you can earn it by playing the game. So these items are, wow, we're almost at 2 hours. Holy crap. That went fast. So tokens are our premium in-game currency. So when you play the game, you're going to get gold. That's mostly what you're going to find. However, there's going to be challenges on occasion that do offer tokens. We do have a challenge that's up right now that does offer tokens, which is, if we go to the home page, the Lavos Syndicate is offering tokens. So if you participate in this one, you will earn some tokens here. However, the rate that you earn them is kind of slow. You can also earn them from battle challenges, which, you'll learn more about battles as you play the game. So you can earn tokens for that, and then you can purchase this, or you can buy them from the shop. You can buy tokens with USD, with real currency. So this is a good option if you have a lot of different forms. You can also earn tokens by playing with other players. So some players will have a lot of tokens and they'll pay you to create art for them so that they can get points for their character and stuff. So ask in the Discord server. There might be people who are willing to trade tokens for other items in your inventory or trade it for gift art. So yeah, ask in the Discord. There's also crafting in this game. Let me show you guys that. So if you go to adventure and you click crafting, as you play the game, you're going to earn lots of items that you can use to craft different things. So you can craft You can craft weapons, you can craft armor. I do recommend making armor one of the first things that you craft, because if you go into a battle without any armor, you're going to get hurt very quickly. So early in the game, you probably just want to get something like kite mail, which will give you a little bit of defense and it lasts for one whole battle. Or you can craft some medium silver armor. The color matters if you're going to customize it. So if you want, not only can you craft this armor, you can also draw a custom armor if you want. And so that's why it's silver. So you would have to draw armor that is silver colored. And you're curious how to craft clothing. So we don't have a way to craft clothing yet. It's something we may add in the future. But right now, you can craft armor. And you don't have to draw the armor every time you draw your character. This is just drawing what your character's armor would look like if you were to, if you wanted to customize it. You could do the same thing with weapons. And again, you don't have to draw it. You can just equip this and it'll work. But you'll need these items in order to craft it. So it shows here which items you'll need. Now, there's more than one recipe here. This is because you can get like a premium item here that halves the requirements. So that is an option to you. Let's see. Let me go back. Crafting recipes. You can also do weapons. So your latent element, like I said, is going to be earth, fire, water, or sky. And you can actually get access to additional elemental attacks with weapons. So my character's a water elemental. If I want to be able to cast sky magic, I can get a sky weapon. Also, you can do additional elemental attacks by multicasting with other players. I meant to talk about the battles. The battle mechanics are actually really cool, so I should probably spend some time talking about that. I'm jumping around a lot and I'm going really, really fast, so there's just so much to cover in an art RPG that just I don't even know how to best organize this. PaperDemon, we try to encourage you to be collaborative and play with other characters, so play with other artists. So one of the ways that we do this is with the battle system. So you can attack a monster by yourself. You can just draw your character only and it'll attack the monster. But if you draw other people's characters, it makes your attack into a duo cast. So if my character's fire and I draw a sky elemental character, those two elements combine to create a lightning attack. And there's many different combinations of elements you can do. In addition to a duo cast, you could do a trio cast where you have 3 characters, or a quad cast where you have 4 characters. And if you want to see more about how that works, there's an elemental guide somewhere. Where is it? Where the hell is it? Okay. Where's that guide? Here, elemental mechanics. Here it is. Okay. If you're a nerd and you want to get all the way in the weeds on this game, you can learn about how the elements work. This guide explains there's a whole chart. Again, if you're a beginner, you don't have to know how this works. Don't worry about it. Just draw and you'll be fine. Can you craft rainbow stuff? Yes. So you can find rainbow aster. So if you're crafting rainbow armor and rainbow weapons, you'll need rainbow aster. That's the main material you need in order to make something any color you want. That's why it's rainbow. It just means you can draw it any way you want. You can draw it as a rainbow. You can draw it as purple, whatever. The most common asters in the game are silver and orange. So crafting a silver weapon or an orange weapon is easy because you're going to find those items everywhere. But if you want something more custom, like you want a purple weapon or a rainbow weapon, you're going to need to craft a rainbow weapon, which basically like a wild card. It means you could draw it any color you want. There is a way to get Rainbow Aster. It is, I believe it's a rare drop, or you could buy it from the shop. I think it's also in the loot boxes. So if you go to the inn, as you're gaining XP in the game, you're going to get spirit points. It'll tell you here if you have enough points for a mystery box. So you could just click this. And you can only get these by playing the game, by the way. You can't buy these. We did that on purpose. We used to let you buy these, but we had a cap on it. But just because we know that sometimes like loot boxes and mystery boxes can be kind of problematic. But this is just crafting ingredients. There's nothing like particularly exciting about this, I don't think. So you just purchase a mystery box with your spirit points. You click and then you get some stuff. You can see how many spirit points you have up here. So I have 50. So I could buy another one if I want. I do believe that there's... Boop. Come on. Why is it being slow? Did I find a bug? I'm going to refresh. There we go. Okay, purchase mystery box. Here we go. I think there is Rainbow Aster in here. Yeah, I think there's a bug. I think you have to refresh or something. Another bug to fix. Okay, I don't have enough to buy another one, but if I did, I could keep rolling and show you that I'm pretty sure there's Rainbow Aster in there. Okay, Magdalena asks, if I have the apothecary and I unlock the earth element, does it mean that if my character has sky, I can combine the two? No, it means that when you submit an attack, you can choose between sky or earth. Okay, Genny confirms for me that there is Rainbow Aster in the loot box, so that is one way. So you can accumulate Rainbow Aster is by playing the game and then trading in your points for stuff. Let's see. And in terms of unlocking abilities, let me show you how that works. Let me show you Cyrus. As you play the game, the more you draw your character, the more points you get. So like I have 303 points here. There's a button here, learn abilities. So you can click on this and trade those points for abilities from the ability tree. So I've already gotten all of them, but for this class, but depending on what class you choose, you can gain new abilities in the game. You can unlock new crafting recipes. You can unlock power-ups for participating in certain challenges. Like this one, I think gives you extra stuff in portals. Is that what it does? It doesn't show text here. You have to read the guide, I think. But it'll tell you what all these different things are if you read the guide. You don't actually lose the points, by the way. It doesn't mean that your rank goes down if you learn these. It just kind of keeps track of how many you've earned total and then lets you use them for abilities. So this number does not go down. You'll still have this big number here. Any other questions? I could talk all day about this, guys. All day I could talk because there's so much to this game and it's so awesome and there's so many cool things to do. Okay, so where should you go from here? I highly recommend joining the Discord. You'll also get an invite when you sign up. You'll get an invitation to join the mailing list. And or I think you get added actually automatically after you confirm your account. I think that's how it works. So that will tell you when there's new stuff coming out. Every week you're going to get an email or at least one notification in the Discord about what's new. So we have new stuff out all the time. Like I said, a new prompt every week. We'll also announce new items. We rotate stuff in the shop. You could spend your gold in the shop. So you can buy clothing items. You could buy crafting ingredients. Like if you want to craft some armor, you can go to the crafting ingredients section. Maybe you don't have enough aster to craft a weapon. You can trade your gold for it. So I think it's in here. It's in here, right? Yes. So you could trade your gold for some more aster so that you could craft something. And again, you could also trade with other players. There's other players who have abundance of stuff that they want to trade. Are there going to be more abilities in the future? That's a great question. So over the next year, I'm going to be mostly focused on improving the core experience of the game. I need to do a Paper Dispatch news stream that kind of talks more about this. So right now, I've talked about how we have 3 classes in the game. How do I get there again? Let me get to that page again. My own idea. Okay, so we have an elementalist, bard, and apothecary as the choices. We want to expand this. We've got a list of classes that we have available that we want to do. However, the amount of work it is to add a new class is pretty high, because not only do we have to create the list, the ability tree of all the things that it does, we have to come up with new item drops that are specific to that class, because every class has their own equipment and weapons that you can craft that enhance that particular character's abilities. It's a lot of work, and I think right now what we want to do is focus on improving the core experience, and we will add new classes over time. You're probably not going to see a new class added to the game for another year, because there's a lot of core usability issues that we got to work on. In particular, what I'm working on right now is making submitting to a challenge easier, because right now I think it's kind of hard. I think it could be better. Like the way that you have to kind of copy paste your prompt is really, really annoying on mobile. And I want to make it so that you have a submit button next to every prompt so that it knows and automatically knows what prompt you're doing. So just making those like core experiences better, getting better notifications of when someone draws your character, other little perks on the site for, you know, improving basic usability for, and features for like premium members, being able to customize the CSS and that kind of thing. Any other questions? We're at the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna hang on the stream for just a few more minutes to answer questions. And while you guys are typing questions, let's do another raffle. Drop your names in the chat. I really should have done another one earlier, sorry. I was so caught up in telling you about how awesome PaperDemon is that I forgot to give you free stuff. I apologize. Let me know your usernames in the chat. I know Magdalena's here. Just confirm for me that you're here, Magdalena. Let's see. Yes, okay. S2312. Okay, Withal, you won the last one, so we're gonna give others a chance. Will there be a book update for writers off in the distance? The UI for submitting writing is going to get some updates. That is another like usability thing. Is that what you mean, or do you mean something else? are we going to give away this time? Let's give away... Let's do some tokens. We'll do 30 tokens. All right, ready? Boop. Unlikely Valentine. You're collecting some tokens. Congratulations, Unlikely Valentine. Boop. In your bank. Doritos for Stinky. Yes, Unlikely Valentine has given the tokens the unofficial name of Forbidden Doritos, which I think on, was it April Fool's last year, we actually changed it to Forbidden Burritos for a day. Forbidden Burritos. Forbidden Doritos for a day. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And is it, let's see, your name was Weifel. That's a cool name. Welcome to the community. If you need any more help playing, please join the Discord. Please, please, please. People are super friendly there. Our staff know the ins and outs of the game and can answer everything for you. A lot of the players can answer too. So definitely join the Discord. One more time, I'm going to drop that link in the chat just for convenience. Also, all the links should be in the description below. If you have feedback too about the stream, like what you wish it had, what you wish it didn't have, like I spent too much time talking about this when I should have talked about that, let me know, because I want to do more of these beginner streams. Because again, kind of like what I've said at the beginning, is like RPGs are hard. Like it's hard to play an RPG. They're so complicated, right? There's so much depth and interesting things you could do. And it's like, how do I learn all this stuff, right? So I think a live stream is a great way to help new players to play and get involved in the game. And the recording is also useful too. So not everyone can make it live. So I want to also like make something that is really good for people to just watch at any time and be able to learn and join in on the fun. So where is the best place to message me? Post in the Discord, or you can send an email to support@paperdemon.com. Let me type that in the chat. But Genny, you're in the Discord. I think there's a is there ask feedback section? Hold on. Pull this up real fast. We have too many channels. Bugs and suggestions. So if you want to add a thread here, and then other people can join in too. Start a new thread here, and then other people can add feedback, because I would like some input on how I can make this better, because if I make this better, then I can make the experience better for new players. So yay. Okay, yes, please post in there. And let's see. Magdalena says, the other weekend I managed to catch up with the submissions and it felt so good to finally draw more. Yay! Awesome! Thank you all for joining me for the stream. I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much. Stay tuned in the Discord and on the newsletter to find out when the next stream will be. We usually do like one a month. However, we also do streams in the Discord that are not advertised on our YouTube. So definitely check that out. We'll post when the next one. Yes, the weekly prompt suggestions are also in there if you want to suggest a prompt. Yes, weekly prompt suggestions. So if you have an idea for a prompt, let us know in here And we also can feature your character in a prompt if you'd like as well. So sometimes we'll have your character kind of like an NPC giving the player an adventure. So we highly encourage that. Please submit your ideas for prompts. And take care, everyone. I will see you in the Discord and in the next event. Bye. I will see you later. Links in the description below. Thank you for hanging out.